riders on the road. 3 of them.
Tuna Chaco and a white man.
Tuna Chaco and Binky?
As in your cousin Binky?
He's not my cousin.
You really ought to get your wife fitted for spectacles.
Well, if it's all the same to you, I'm gonna hold off making the appointment.
What on earth is he doing here?
He must have taken a wrong turn at a Stanley Park.
Nope.
Well, what then?
Well, isn't it obvious? He's here for revenge.
Binky! This is a surprise.
Gloria, gentlemen, let's get right down to it, shall we? Martini, anyone?
Richmond P. Hobson Jr., Panhandle Phillips, and Gloria McIntosh Hobson were real people. And for a short period of time, in the wilderness halfway between Vancouver and the Yukon, they worked to carve out the largest cattle ranch in the world. That part is true.
Oh, careful, men. There may be the odd breakable in there.
He knows we built them.
Doubtful.
2 cowboys and a blonde. Doesn't take Einstein to figure it out.
He's related to Gloria. How swift can he be?
Yeah. Thank you, my good men. Not on par with the Red Caps at Central Station, but passable.
So what brings you to these parts?
I have a job. A real one.
My, this is a first.
I met Vi's man Friday. She wants a full report on her operation.
Her operation?
She does own 33% of the Frontier Cattle Company.
Well, you can get right back on that horse. You can ride straight back to Vancouver, and you can tell Aunt Vi to go straight to...
Heavens. You must be parched. I'll go mix us those drinks.
Relax, fellas. Aunt Vi's been working me like a dog. Let me get some R&R while I'm up here. I'll give you a glowing report.
All right. Why don't you go up to the house and we'll get your bags.
At first, I'd like to clear the air. Those cattle that you sold me in Vancouver, the ones that got rustled.
What about them?
Well, you must have wondered how I was able to pay you such a good price.
Thought did cross our minds.
We were going to sell them in the States.
Well, the government put a ban on beef exports.
Yeah, it's not something I'm proud of. I needed cash. I let myself get smooth-talked by a huckster. But when somebody rustled the cattle, and then you boys insisted on keeping the deposit...
Hey, we kept our part of the bargain.
That was my wake-up call. After all, I hadn't made such a huge success out of bending the law.
So why are you telling us this?
I want you to know you're looking at a changed man.
It's funny, you know. He looks exactly the same to me.
Except for that limp.
So how's Aunt Vi?
Well, cautiously optimistic. She still hasn't completely forgiven me.
Her Bentley was ruined.
Well, it was an accident.
You were 3 sheets to the wind.
I wanted to dry out.
By parking down on Jericho Beach with the tide coming in?
Well, enough about me. Did you ever mention to Aunt Vi that you saw me at the stockyards?
That's still about you. But no.
I admit that deal was a little shady,
A little?
but I've turned over a new leaf. Aunt Vi's the only one who's still willing to give me a chance. If she found out, she'd cut me off.
Your secret is safe with me.
Good. Aunt Vi'd cut off anyone she suspected of undermining the war effort.
That's a threat.
It was a conversation.
Rich, take a good look at the man. As long as he's on the bottle, he'd finish fourth in a 3-horse race.
I don't think we should underestimate him.
Let's say he does know that we borrowed his cattle back.
The word is rustled. We rustled his cattle back.
What's he gonna do about it? The story ever came out, his sugar mama dropped him like a hot spud.
We can't let that happen.
Why not?
Well, for starters, he'd drag us down with him.
He's had a horrible life.
Well, he certainly looks like he's suffering.
After the market crashed, Binky's father walked out on the family. Aunt Vi took them in.
Well, I'd like to suffer like that.
Binky's mother was never the same. It was left to Aunt Vi to raise him. She had a lot of money, but no time.
So he's a poor little rich boy.
If he says he's trying to make a fresh start, I think we should give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, maybe we should make amends with him then.
Fine. You write him a note of apology.
I was thinking of paying him off. We bilked him out of a lot of money.
You know, you have really got to get that Protestant guilt of yours under control. The man got what he deserved.
We don't have that kind of money.
You just finished saying we should feel sorry for the guy.
Sympathize, yes. Put ourselves in the poorhouse, no.
$15.2, $15.4, $15.6, and a pair is 8.
Say, you kids like chocolate?
Yeah,
Some.
some.
Kid, could I possibly trouble you to do a bit of ironing for me?
Tommy handles the household chores.
Oh, it's a nickel a shirt.
I can learn.
I can fill in till she gets back, if you like.
Okay. Mr. Gordon, how come you limp? If you don't mind my asking.
It was a yachting accident. The weather turned bad. We jibed. Boom caught me right here. Hey, why don't we make this interesting and play for money?
Gee, I don't know. We don't get paid till the end of the year.
I'll just play for fun, then. What's this game called again?
Cribbage.
What do you do with these little sticks?
I guess maybe we could play for cash.
You are killing me, kid. That ought to be your nickname. Killer.
Well, I've never had a nickname before. Well, if you don't count Kid calling me Lugnut.
What do you do for friends out here, Killer?
Well, there's Kid, when she's not slugging me.
Any neighbors?
There's Mr. Mowat, but we don't get along too good. In fact, Mr. Phillips and Mr. Hobbs pretty much hate his guts.
Where does Mr. Mowat live?
Northwest of here. About 15 miles. 31 for 8.
Down, Killer, down.
Sorry, sir.
Any friendly neighbors?
That time of year again?
Whoa. Got word from Jake DeVries. Inspector passed by his place 2 days ago.
Inspector?
Comes calling once a year to round up the Indian kids for residential school. We gotta hide him in the bush a day or two, else he takes them away to Williams Lake.
Without your permission?
We wouldn't see him for 10 months straight.
That's awful, Nelson.
Some kids never come back from those schools. Me and Rita get palpitations just thinking about it.
Having been sent to 7 boarding schools myself and having been kicked out of all of them, I can speak with authority. They are dreadful places.
Nelson George? Binky... Pierce Gordon.
Oh, delighted to meet you.
Likewise.
Well, I think I will go for a ride this morning and clear my head. Count cows for Aunt Vi while I'm at it.
Well, Aunt Vi will be pleased. Binky's seeing double this morning. He'll count twice of hers.
If you get lost, let the horse have her head. She'll bring you back.
Oh, thanks, but I'll be all right. I have a keen sense of direction. I'm afraid I'm lost. Pierce Gordon's the name. I'm staying with the Hobsons.
You're sleeping with the enemy.
Now, Rupert. How do you do? I'm Olivia Merritt.
Oh, well, delighted to meet you.
And you?
You could just point me in the right direction.
Left, right, left again. Good day.
Rupert, the least you could do would be to draw this gentleman a map.
I suppose so.
Do come in, please.
Actually, the truth is, I'm also a bit parched. Would you have any water to go with this?
My fiancée might say that it's a little early for this sort of libation.
Well, we were just about to sit down to our 11ses.
Well, somewhere in the Empire, the sun is over the yard arm.
What the hell?
That's what I'd like to know. Tommy tells me you're asking all kinds of questions about our neighbors. Next thing I know, you're at Rupert's.
So isn't this the frontier where a man can ride free?
All depends what that man gets up to.
Well, you could have just asked.
Well, I'm asking now.
Very well, then. Buying out Rupert Mowat.
All the cheap theatrics.
Now, Gloria, roping a fella takes skill, timing, precision.
You could have broken his back.
Oh, I'm fine. Just a bit of cowboy humor.
Not really funny till somebody gets hurt.
I'm still waiting for an explanation.
You remember when Aunt Vi's friend Pearl got a fox first stole?
Aunt Vi went straight out and bought an ankle-length mink.
That's right. She always has to have the biggest and the best.
Well, Mowat Place isn't the biggest or the best of anything.
You familiar with the gang ranch?
It rings a bell.
Well, Aunt Vi is acquainted with one of the gang matrons. Their ranch is substantially larger than yours.
So you're saying Aunt Vi would buy up land just to one-up her friends?
In a minute.
She bought out the government lease on Stony Meadow.
What, she didn't have to do that.
Yeah, we already had grazing rights for 99 years.
Oh, yes, but Aunt Vi's old school. She believes the only true wealth is land and slaves.
So why didn't you tell us that's why you were here in the first place?
Well, I didn't actually think about it until Tommy mentioned your feud with Mowat. And then when I found myself on his doorstep...
Oh, just found yourself there.
It dawned on me this is the perfect opportunity to impress on Aunt Vi that I'm not just another shiftless relative looking for a handout.
So you're buying Rupert's land for Aunt Vi?
Well, for all of you.
Do me a favor. Don't make any offers on behalf of the Frontier Cattle Company without our say-so.
Contrary to what Aunt Vi may believe, we're still the majority owners of this cattle ranch.
Well, no offers were made. I wouldn't move ahead without your approval.
Even with our approval, where's the money gonna come from?
Well, I can cobble together the deposit and Aunt Vi will pay for the rest. But right now it's the deal that's important. Everybody wins here. I get 5% of the sale price. You get to expand your ranch. Huh? Think about it.
need more cattle.
But if we get more cattle, we'll definitely need more land.
You aren't actually considering this.
Well, we have always wanted the biggest cattle ranch around. I'm just not sure doing it with Cousin Binky's best idea.
He's not my cousin.
And what he is suggesting is perfectly legal.
It doesn't matter. Getting involved with him is what got us in trouble in the first place.
Well, actually, getting involved with him is what got us out of trouble. We were flat bust when we ran into him.
What about Rupert? He's our neighbor.
Well, now, there is a blight I would not mind removing from our landscape.
And Olivia? If Rupert moves, she goes too.
Well, now, why in tarnation would I care about that?
No reason.
Hey, I would be tickled pink to get rid of that porcine swine peddler, but since you two keep insisting we're equal partners, I guess I'm outvoted.
So, it's settled then? We tell Pierce no?
I thought you guys wanted to grow.
We do, but at a steady pace.
Steady like a fast crawl or a slow sprint?
Look, if it was just me, I'd say yes, but we're partners. These are the pitfalls of democracy.
They had Rupert primed to sell.
What about his limey housekeeper, Olympia?
Olivia.
She want to go?
Very much so. Apparently they're getting married.
So says Rupert.
Actually, she was picking out china patterns. I'm wondering whom to put on the guest list.
Like I said, I'm all for buying out that bulbous swine harvester.
You can't do that.
But your partner agreed.
Pan does not have the authority to make those kinds of decisions without us.
I was counting on that commission.
Why? Did Aunt Vi stop advancing your allowance?
Louise Parker.
What about her?
I'm in love with her.
Louise? The one with the ruddy complexion and the sort of mustache?
I've proposed to her.
You're kidding. I mean, how wonderful.
No, she's not a conventional beauty, but deep down, underneath, she's a doll. I mean, I can be myself with her. But I have to prove to her that I can earn a decent living.
What really happened to your leg?
It was a yachting accident.
Binky, it's me. You hate boats. You get seasick eating fish and chips.
Had a few too many Manhattans before a tennis match. Tried to jump the net. I misjudged. I want to change my life, Gloria, but I need help.
Absolutely not.
Your partners outvote you.
Then I'll have to talk to them.
You know, I can't figure it out. Gloria told Aunt Vi you want the biggest cattle ranch in North America.
That's what I aim for.
So then you have to expand.
I can decide that for myself, thank you.
Rupert wants to sell. I mean, I could broker this deal in a half an hour.
No offense, Pierce, but I've already got enough partners.
I'm not your partner. I'm acting as your agent on this, nothing more. I mean, Rupert and Pan aren't exactly chummy. I can take the emotion out of it and get you the best deal.
We've already expanded the range once this year.
Come on, you didn't leave Park Avenue to run a middling range. You wanted the biggest, right?
That's right. A working cattle ranch, which is a lot different than a vast tract of land. There are a lot of factors to consider.
Yeah, I'm not telling you how to run your business. I know you're more than capable of dealing with that end of things.
What's that supposed to mean? What's that supposed to mean?
You know, this war isn't going to last forever. When it ends, land prices are going to skyrocket. It's up to you, but nobody ever built an empire by waffling.
I'm not waffling. I'm pondering. I just don't want us to overextend ourselves.
But land is really cheap right now.
You've been talking to Binky, I see.
Where's the harm in letting him try?
Gloria, if we were going to do something like this, and I say if, then I'd talk to Rupert myself. What? You don't think I could do it?
Of course. But Binky is very persuasive. He convinced Kit to iron his shirts.
He paid her.
If there's one thing Binky has in spades, it's charm. He could sell ice boxes to Eskimos. He even convinced himself Louise Parker was a catch.
You really want to let him do this, huh?
Everybody deserves a second chance, Rich.
Fine. We'll let him try, but he's wasting his breath. Rupert will never go for it.
How'd you get Rupert to go for it?
Well, I appealed to his finer qualities.
Greed and sloth?
That, and I threw in an entire bottle of Pimm's.
And the terms?
Better than we discussed. He's practically giving us the land.
A range without pigs. This is a cause to celebrate.
Frontier Cattle Company just got bigger.
And it's about to become biggest. I stopped by the Indians' place on the way back, and I put in an offer there.
The Georges?
Yeah, I spoke to the squaw. The brave wasn't home.
I think you mean Rita and Nelson.
We can talk them into selling, too.
You made them an offer without speaking to us first?
Well, I assumed that...
You told them you were doing this for us?
Is that a problem?
You're damn right it's a problem.
Well, I thought you'd be happy.
Where are you going?
To the Georges.
What for?
Apologize. We hope he didn't insult you in any way.
You mean aside from calling me a brave and Rita a squaw?
I think he never really mastered his P's and Q's.
Uh-huh.
We weren't that insulted. You made a pretty good offer.
Oh, yeah? How good?
Good enough. We're gonna take it. Your cousin made a good point. He's not my cousin. He's my godmother's nephew. With the money he offered, we could move to Russet Lake. My kids could go to school there. I'm tired of playing hide and seek every year. There must be another way. I can't think of any. I've got to do what's best for my family.
You're not on side with this, are you?
Are you kidding? I come home a couple hours ago with the kids, give Rita a kiss, and she tells me to start packing. I need this like I need a hole in the head.
Nelson, we're so sorry.
How am I gonna feed my family in a town? I got the kids, my dad, my brother, Rita's sisters. What'd she think? I'm gonna get a job as a druggist?
Did you tell her that?
Get Rita to change her mind?
What if we withdraw the offer?
Don't you dare. She'll blame me. Rita holds a grudge like a hawk holds its prey. Been nice knowing you.
We can't let this happen.
We don't have any choice.
I'll talk to Binky. Neighbors are a dime a dozen in Vancouver. Just didn't understand.
Still believe that?
He didn't have the authority.
You didn't need the authority. They accepted his offer.
So, business is business?
Binky's a wild card, and we dealt them.
We got what we wanted.
Well, it's not what we want. It's what Rita wants. Who are we to stand in her way?
The largest cattle ranch in the world. And no neighbors.
How much is Pierce paying you to look after his horse?
Dime a day.
So you made, what, 40 cents so far?
50.
I made $3.87 playing cribbage.
So,
So I knew how you were saving up to buy a new pair of chaps.
yeah.
I could see my way into helping you out. In exchange for the odd chore.
Like what?
Making my bunk, polishing my boots, washing my clothes. Finding a job.
You must be joking.
Okay, 2 cents a job. And I'm gonna talk Pierce into another game tonight.
So what?
So I'm gonna get more money off him.
Do you really think he's gonna let you win again?
What do you mean, let me win?
He lost on purpose, Tommy. You couldn't play cribbage if your life depended on it, you lug nut.
Hey, killer.
I want a rematch.
No. Loser asks for a rematch. You won.
Crib, same as before. Except this time you're not gonna pump me for gossip about our neighbors.
We were just passing the time.
Until what, you could buy everybody out?
Well, your bosses don't seem to mind.
I don't like being used.
Think of it as making a contribution.
Deal.
Fine.
But...
Bit of advice, kid. Every time you led from a pear, you licked your lips.
I did not.
It's your tell.
My tell?
Your giveaway. Live and learn.
Well, finally come to your senses?
Beg your pardon?
No bag? Not even a toothbrush. A decision made in haste.
Actually, I thought about it a long while.
How'd Rupert take it?
He doesn't know I've come.
Did you leave a note?
No. I told him I was going to look for a stray pig.
You and Laura Secord. Well, I expect he'll find out in a week or two.
Mr. Phillips, your arrogance knows no bounds. I haven't left Rupert.
Well, then, why have you come?
Call it an act of temporary insanity.
Wait. Now, come on. Say what you came to say.
I overheard Pierce talking to Rupert, and he said that if Rupert sold, he'd be getting you and Rich back for good.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I like your partner's wife, and...
You barely know her.
But whatever you men are playing at, I'm sure she doesn't deserve it. Good day, Mr. Phillips.
That sleazy little dwarf! That slimy little fancy pants! Have you seen this? I knew we shouldn't have trusted that shifty-eyed gimp you call a cousin.
He's not my cousin. What is that?
Pierce isn't buying land for the Frontier Cattle Company. Pierce is buying land for Pierce.
What?
What I want to know is why.
He could cut off our whole northern access. Trails, market, water.
We've been hornswoggled.
I can't believe Binky would do this.
I told you. Revenge.
What we took is pocket change to a dandy like this. No, this is what comes of putting morals ahead of good common sense. If we'd have let Pierce sell our beast wherever the hell he wanted to in the first place, none of this would have happened.
None of this would have happened if I'd have just followed my gut.
It's not just your fault. We all played our part.
Ah, Gloria's right. You can't shoulder all the blame. You can't shoulder all the blame.
I wanted to believe he was telling the truth.
Exactly. You two can share the blame between you.
Pardon?
Hey, I have said right from the start, never do business with family.
For the last time, he's not my cousin.
Well, you're the one who convinced us he was on the up and up.
No, I convinced Rich. You convinced yourself.
Oh,
And I didn't see you complain when Aunt Vi first got us the lease on Stony Meadow.
I didn't want to spoil your fun.
All right, cut it out. What are we gonna do?
Shoot him.
No.
A drowning, then.
Just stop. We need to go talk to him.
No, she's right. We've got to get this all out in the open.
We could do that. Or we could do something smart. If you're going to lie with scorpions, you gotta have a big stinger of your own. I'm here to see your intended.
Yes, of course, Mr. Phillips.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
A school would never teach your kids the things they've learned out here, Rita. They're self-reliant. Think of what they've learned from their grandfather. Hunting, trapping.
No one tracks a deer like Horatio.
Well, there's lots for them to learn in town. Smoking, loitering.
Shoplifting.
I'd keep them in line.
Come on, we can't make do without you, Rita. You've helped us out more times than I can count.
But most important, you're our friends.
Yeah.
I can't imagine life out here without you.
What do you say, Snookums?
We have to put the children first. Is there anything that would change your mind? Nothing.
What about a school?
That wouldn't work. You'd need a teacher. Oh, no. But I don't know how to teach. I tutored my cousin in history once. I got the 100 Years' War mixed up with the 30 Years' War. I told him I wasn't any good at math.
It'd just be till we find someone else.
And it gets our favorite neighbors back. Snookums.
I know we've had our ups and downs, Rupert, our ins and our outs. But I did want to stop by and bid you farewell.
I'm only glad that I could be of help in your efforts to expand.
I trust the pecuniary rewards were to your satisfaction.
Indeed.
Of course, I can't say as we'll have much use for your abode, except maybe for the lumber. Although, you know, we do need another shelter for livestock. Yeah, with a bit of upgrading, this place just might do the trick. That is, if we can get rid of that pig smell. Oh, and you don't want to take any of this junk with you. I'm sure we can burn it for firewood.
Heathen! We'll see what or whom gets burned once I'm gone.
You're rope thrown and hogtied, Mo. You just don't see it yet.
You're the dolt, Phillips. You think Pierce is buying my property as your agent when he's really buying it for himself. I shall cheer from the gallery while he ruins you.
Well, now that is uncharitable.
I would never surrender my property to the likes of you.
Did you ever consider the possibility that we knew as much? We got Pierce to say he was going to cut us out so that you'd sell to him. Now that the deal is done, he flips the land back to us.
But he said he lured you.
Oh, that boy could give acting lessons to Douglas Fairbanks.
Viper!
So long, sucker.
Not so fast, my reptilian friend. You've shown your hand too soon. The deal is not done. I have yet to sign on the dotted line.
What?
The pen is mightier than the sword. The deal is off.
Now, Rupert, let's not be hasty.
Out! Out, damned spot! Out, I say!
Curses foiled again.
Well, you get everything worked out with your friends?
Absolutely. And they're not selling.
Neither's Rupert.
But they have to sell.
No, Finky, they don't.
Why are you doing this to me? I was trying to help.
Stop it, Binky. We're on to you.
We know you were trying to buy the land in your name.
Well, of course I was trying to buy it in my name. How else would Rupert sell? I was going to flip it back.
Well, you flipped and you flopped once too often. Now get your things and get out of here.
I'm a dead man. The down payment I gave you for the cattle wasn't my money. I borrowed it. From a loan shark.
Oh, Binky.
Oh, Binky.
When the rustler stole the cattle, I couldn't pay it back, and he's getting impatient. And then I came up here, and I had this idea to buy up this land for Aunt Vi, and I was gonna turn it back to the company. I swear. If I come back to Vancouver empty-handed, they'll kill me.
I want to believe you, Binky.
Gloria, I swear on my father's grave,
He isn't dead.
you might as well be.
Oh, please.
I don't expect you to help me. I know I've been thrifty with the truth.
Thrifty? Worse than a politician on election day.
What do you want?
Could I just stay here for a while, just until things cool off? Manual labor isn't my forte, but I'm sure I could make myself useful. I see your minds are made up. Oh, who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky and they'll just take out my other leg.
Other leg?
The loan sharks took a hammer to my kneecap. They said next time they were gonna cut off my ear.
Okay, then.
You cynical old coot.
Oh, Gloria, that fella has been slinging us a line of hooey ever since he showed up on our doorstep.
Absolutely.
He seemed genuinely frightened.
Well, maybe he's lying and maybe he isn't. But it doesn't matter anymore. I want him out of our lives for good.
Well, now finally someone is talking some sense. Let's help him pack.
Well, just hold on. All right, two wrongs don't make a right, Pan.
Oh.
We've been calling him on all of his lies, but we haven't
No.
exactly told him the truth, now have we?
You and your principles. They're like ragweed, popping up all over the place.
Maybe so. But I gotta straighten this out.
3,000.
It's worth 6.
Take it or leave it.
Rupert, I don't have to explain to you how much this land is worth. You'll have to do better than that.
3,100.
Rupert, please be reasonable. We've always dealt with you fairly.
Cutting off my water supply, tipping over my privy, threatening me with bodily harm.
Fine. I've dealt with you fairly. I'm appealing to your honor.
3,150.
Pan told me you were a Ponzi toad.
I beg your pardon?
But I expected more from an Englishman and a gentleman.
Wait. I'm sure we can work something out.
$4,802.
At the risk of sounding ungrateful, the deposit was actually $5,110.
Well, I deducted some for room and board, and a chunk for pain and suffering. So we're all square with the cattle, right?
You've saved my life. I don't know how to thank you.
Well, you can start by leaving.
Presto.
Where did you get that kind of money?
I sold Stony Meadow to Rupert.
You what?
And Vi will have our heads.
Worse. Rupert is gonna lord it over us every chance it gets.
I did what I had to do.
I suppose it was worth it. Suppose it was worth it.
How? How was it worth it?
Imagine trying to live with him if he didn't lay this to rest.
He'd be surly, obnoxious, and utterly intolerable. So what else is new?
You're the lowest of the low, Mr. Gordon. An amoeba has a bigger conscience than you. To treat people who've taken you in like this, that trusted you, it's unconscious. It's unconscious. It's sleazy.
Bravo. Except that you won't have the guts to say it to his face, so this is Plan B.
What are you doing?
I am just helping you pack.
Oh, well, that is very, very thoughtful of you, kid. Here's a 5 for your trouble. No hard feelings, kid?
I won't take money I haven't earned.
You've been spending too much time with Hobson.
I will hold it for him.
Oh, that's good thinking.
Well, what a surprise.
Binky, you're not limping.
Miracle. God bless us, everyone.
The loan shark?
What, loan shark?
Binky, you cockroach. If Louise knew about this.
You really think I'd marry that mustachioed eyesore? I may be a drunk, but I'm not blind.
I'll tell Aunt Vi.
You wouldn't dare.
Go ahead. We don't care if Aunt Vi knows.
Spare me. If she found out, she'd put her shares up for sale faster than you could say bankrupt.
We'd find a way to make do, but all you've got is the hustle.
Well, I was only taking back what was mine to begin with.
Did the thought ever occur to you just to ask for it?
Where's the fun in that?
This was a game to you?
What's more fascinating than human nature? Everyone has a weakness. You care too much about how people feel. You think that you can outwit everyone, and you're honorable.
Well, I don't think that's a weakness.
Well, it is if you want to build an empire.
Well, looks like you've got us all figured out.
Well, almost. There is one thing. Why would an honorable man rustle cattle in the first place?
It was the lesser of two evils. We needed the money, and I didn't want a snake like you keeping beef away from the Canadian soldiers.
I don't get it.
And that's why you'll always be Binky.
Now, being a moral fella, Rich advised me against shooting you. But, being an immoral fella, I'm going to ignore his advice if you're not off this property in 60 seconds.
You wouldn't dare. You want to bet that $5,000?
Would he?
Guess you've got about 45 more seconds to find out.
There are witnesses.
30 seconds.
I can't believe I misjudged him so completely.
You know, Pierce was right about one thing, though. You may not be ruthless enough to build an empire.
Yes, but I'm shrewd enough to get us out of a bad deal.
You know, I knew there was something fishy about that fella from the minute I laid eyes on him.
Oh, really?
Now, if you would listen to your conscience for a change, I mean, you wouldn't find yourself in these situations of moral ambiguity. In fact, forget your conscience. Listen to me.